son went
I've been
down.
there several times. It's really nice.
You know where it is. I think you should have left the door open.
Well, yeah, I tried to turn that off, and so I went ahead and just put it on. It's probably warmer outside, you're saying?
Yeah.
It's not working. Blowing cold air.
Is it blowing cold?
Blowing
I better
cold
put it back
air.
on.
So it felt like down there.
I better put it back on heat.
That's cold air right there.
It's on heat. Did you just change it?
I
saw you
changed
come
something.
up.
I'll go back over there and see what I did.
It's cold. Blowing cold.
I tried to adjust that. It didn't work for me. And so I put this on shooting out auto.
Okay, it's on 70, so
Yeah.
it's starting to get there.
There.
It moved that time. I just had to trick it into doing something because it wasn't doing nothing for
Well,
me.
it said 8.6 when I walked up there, and I never know what that means. So how to get it off of that? Try.
I know. Here we are. I have to press on it just a little bit and you'll get there.
Oh, look at that.
Jeannie had a birthday since
I did.
I saw you last.
He did.
I did.
Geez, happy that you made it.
Big 78.
And I guessed it.
Huh?
And I guessed it. Yes, I did.
You said 60.
Oh,
Oh, what you said? You did. You said 60.
I don't think so.
I don't think so good. You just been kind. Well, I guess you seen the big football game.
I did
Oh,
not.
I did. Kansas City boys, they came through.
Who won?
Kansas City.
Kansas City.
Oh, they did?
Oh, yeah.
At one point, we went in town to get pizza in Philadelphia or something.
I thought they were pretty much
That's how
tied
much
up
I
all the
say
time.
upon it.
Yeah, it was really big.
Right, it was a good ball game.
Just trying to eat it.
It was all good, except the halftime show. Halftime show was
I heard a lot
Was
of
it
people
bad?
complaining about that.
terrible.
I didn't watch any of it. I didn't hear my word. I could hear it in the background part of the time.
Terrible. What you heard at the halftime show when she was singing, I guarantee you didn't understand what she was saying.
All I heard is that they revealed that she was expecting.
Yeah, she's a bigger sophomore. Well, sure.
That was probably a stretch.
Give me your stuff, I'll put the trash can right here.
Okay.
Instead of filling up your pockets, so, oh my God.
Thank you.
Then have to go through your pockets and clean them out before she does the laundry.
Well, I'm supposed to, but I left my cell phone in my jeans. She washed it.
Oh no, what happened?
I tried to dry it out and couldn't do that, so I took it up to the store. And he said, I got a drying machine back there, I'll give it a shot. History.
I had to buy a new key fob for my car because I washed Tom's key fob for my car because I didn't clean out his pants, but he usually does. But I took him when he wasn't ready for him to be washed yet, so.
I do too, I usually clean out my.
They're not cheap.
And he tried to sell me a phone that cost $1,800 or $1,500.
You weren't going for that?
No, I said no, I don't. In fact, I said I don't even want the one I got. I said just cancel the line. So I give it up.
Did you really? Your cell phone?
Well, I really don't want.
Yeah, I understand, you're
You
always
used to have
together.
your own number, but now you don't.
Everybody called me.
I don't think I've ever called you.
Well, I thought you used to have your own number.
I did. And the only reason I had was for her to keep track of me in Walmart. Pick me up at the pharmacy or pick me up at the wall.
Well, that's what Herschel and I do
Well,
too.
so I just said, just keep right on.
That warm air's coming out now. Yeah, I can feel the difference.
These cell phone people, you know, you go in there and they say, well, you know, you need an update. I've heard that 100 times. You need update, you need update. No, you need update, nothing.
Which company, which provider? Verizon, yeah. Well, there's a girl named Darby that works in there, and she is so smart about cell phones.
Yep.
She is really, really good. And if I have to wait on anybody else, I always kind of listen,
Yep.
because I learned stuff, just because she's telling that other guy how to.
That Stiesel boy's pretty good too. Stiesel, what's his name? Christian Stiesel.
Don't know him, so.
Kind of a skinny young guy. He really, he's good too. Yeah. So, way I move, hey Diane,
I got my stuff in here already.
one line will do me.
What's this next?
Oh, my pen must have broke.
Was there a live flight here in town?
A what?
Live flight here in town today?
I didn't hear him go by at all. I wasn't home all day. I'll hear them fly over my house if they're going to Albany, or I assume that's where they're going.
I'm gonna work all day.
Usually they didn't. Sometimes they land up in Old Ball. But I couldn't see anybody. I didn't know. Get in the truck and go up and look, because none of my concern. I just didn't break it.
No. I had one at home that I've already read, already perused. Would you, ma'am, please make one more of those for me?
Sure, that's right.
No, thank you. Thank you. Oh, this is the good paper.
Say tea.
Well, I can feel the heat now, guys.
This is to cover the roads, people chip and seal.
Yeah, it's the resolution.
Okay.
Okay, guys, it's December 13th, 2023, 6 p.m., Village of Bellmont. Board meeting called to order. May I have a roll call, please? I'm sorry, are you recording?
Yes.
Oh, thank you.
Stacy
Linda
Gilmore.
Johnson? Linda, here.
Leon here.
Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Well, you did before.
Thank you, Father.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Now, start out by, our USDA grant for the roof went through, and we're scheduled to have that work started the 1st of April. I did speak with Christina Carwell also, and she does have us on the schedule. And there's probably a little more paperwork I need to do, but it's officially been approved. We had a little bit of trouble with the water meter out of the tower. It went out again. It was the unit that we had borrowed last year and replaced to Kingsburg. And I'm going to have that rebuilt, so we still have one on backup, and we also have it rebuilt. And I think I'm going to go ahead and purchase a new one since we put a new one on there.
You said it's a water meter.
Oh, sorry. It's called a chlorine pump. A chlorine pump. And then we also had to replace the transfer pump. And I'm cleaning that one out and hoping not to build a new, or buy a new one, but I think I'm going to go ahead and buy a new one there. It has to be ordered through King, and they get it from another store and bring it in to us. And we'll get that and have that on the shelf. You just can't take a chance of not having it if you go down. We did not have any interruptions with the water readings because of that. It was just monitored closely and handled. Let's see. That's not really all I have to say.
Were the injectors changed at that
Oh,
time?
yes, they were.
Yes.
Thank you. We did have a movie come out, and he exchanged one injector, and the other one we cleaned. And did we replace both of them, or just?
They both were replaced.
Both were replaced, okay. And, yeah. Oh, and we did have Moody install 2 meters out at the trailer park. And they are the kind that you cannot put a lock on. It's the, I put in your notes this evening that the locks that you need to buy for that, they're very expensive, about $172, I believe, fees. And I'm hoping to get at least 3 of those. And then I'm not really sure that the padlocks are working well either, so we might want to go ahead and invest in some other locks. And we do have that approved from the Illinois ARP money from last fall. And that's the account we'll be using to make those purchases. And I hope to be getting that done this week. Let me find my notes on the purchases. You'll see that the chlorine kits that we have too, that use the manual read of the wheel, they're old and faded, and I'd like to go ahead and order 2 of those and have one at each station. Those are $81 a piece. And then I've been looking at the rod for doing the manhole lift. I can lift the manhole, but it's a job. You have to shovel, use
Oh,
the.
down to the lift station at the basket?
Well, no, down at
Oh,
the
up
tower
there.
when we bring the fence,
Okay, where the injectors are at, okay.
And so I looked at all the different types of lift poles, and I found one that I think is more reasonable for us, easy to maneuver. You can lift it while standing. You hook in the 2 places and lift and swing. And that one is going to run around $149.95. I did measure that, and Stacy, maybe you can tell me for sure. I got 22.5 inches, and that was the manhole itself. And the measurements go from 1932 or 19 to 26.
No, I'd have to remeasure.
Okay, well, it's 22, and so I think I fit in that 19 to 26 range. I did not receive the estimate for the basket for the lift station. I sent them a picture of it, I measured it, and told them what size we have. It is not currently in the USA Blue Book, so we will continue to see what we can find on that. He's going to share his picture with the other folks that look at this stuff and see what he can find for
The
us.
place we bought the comes from says that they have anything to do.
So call,
Stafford.
yeah, Stratford, okay. All right, I'll send them an email and see if they can locate it for me.
So what you're talking about is some sort of tool to raise the manhole?
Yeah, would you like me to?
So you don't get your fingers smashed.
Yeah, and it's easier on your back also, you know. We did have Smith Electric come out and redo that electrical outlet that's sitting on the concrete pad. And, but I did notice that he didn't put a ground wire in it, so I'm gonna give them a call back and say I'd like that grounded. I mean, it's well protected, the way he covered it, and he protected the cable going inside the manhole, you know, in from there, but in the outside is, got a case on it, but I don't see a ground wire. And I'm like, why wouldn't you ground it anytime you're working for water, your water? So I'm gonna address that with them.
Good explanation.
I'm getting an estimate for that, to rebuild that pump. It's not the pump that we usually have down there, but it worked for us all since last year. But it is a different model than what we normally use, but I still think to go ahead and it's feasible to get it rebuilt and have it here in City Hall for another backup.
That's a chlorine pump.
Yes.
I don't have all my contacts that I used to have when we were doing those, but we never got them to look in.
No, this is
I
from,
remember my
this is
sales
from,
rep's name,
This,
Teresa
that's the
Williams, but
chlorine
I,
pump
yeah, just the,
that comes into the tower.
yeah.
She's talking about a chlorine transfer that we get
Chlorine,
from
yeah, it's called a transfer pump, and then the other pump I'm talking about is the,
chlorine.
yeah. You know, it's up on the wall and it actually takes the
yeah, I
chlorine
know
out.
what one you're talking
Yeah,
about.
that
We never had to replace that.
Oh, okay, well, we replaced it the first time, because of the electrical fire that we had, or, you know, burst or something through the electrical line. And then after time with that chlorine, it eats them up.
Oh, yeah. That's
Years get,
even the barrels.
stripped, yeah. And that's with even with proper maintenance of, you know, you going in there and you cleaning it out and so forth, rinsing those lines. And then, the, gate valve locks, $172 a piece. And I think we need at least 3 on hand, and I think that they will work for both the single meter lid and the ones that come together with the two holes that you put the lock through. They have various ones in there, but I think I'm going to get 3 of each kind to have on hand, because some residents have the other, and we surely won't have to lock up that many meters at any given time, but to have them on hand.
So the gate valve lock is needed for the new type of meter?
Well, it's not it's not a new meter, it's a meter we've always had. We just haven't had really a, big need to be locked
that
on.
we can't lock.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
we do need
Yeah.
supplies on hand.
And you know, last year I looked for lids and stuff, and I found that was really unnecessary because they do have the bolt that lock on them. And that is the same thing that our surrounding communities are using. So it's, when you lock it, we have a secure, it's in our procedure that we make sure that it's locked when it's closed. And I have been told that Brown's has the meters that you can digitally read. And so I'm gonna get together with them and find out what that's about. There's, I just got an email the other day about a grant for possible sewage and water, and so I think I'm gonna use that to find out what the pricing is for that and see if we can apply for that USDA grant to get that system fit in for us here in Bellmont.
My dad used them over there when he read the meters in Edwards County where Albion, and they're the real deal.
Yeah.
You just scan it.
Yeah, and see, that's what Mount Carmel has told me too. Now, it doesn't always work, you still gotta get out there occasionally and actually read the meter, that's, yeah, but, I do think that might be an avenue to go for the, for that system. Okay.
Can you have questions about that?
The bills, yes, sir, what you got?
Waltner is really good.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Every phone call, every time a resident calls in, every email,
I just jotted that down and I was thinking, really?
yeah,
That's
yes.
it's almost $800, $700.
yeah, and you know, when we first brought them on, we really thought they were gonna be between, 4 and 6, so like $500 a month, and it's never proven to be that little. And then when you get that quarterly, payroll done, yeah, it's pretty tough. A small village like us, we can't do that, we need the treasurer, definitely. Okay. We've done pretty good with, the sewer pond opening, closing the gate valves pretty good, keeping that water down. I do have on the agenda tonight a proposal for getting those valves that we talked about last fall, that I do have an estimate for that. So we'll go over that when we get to it. I did hand you out the estimate that I have from Kiefer Construction. That's all I have. Probably come up with more as we talk, but at this time I'll open the floor to anyone that would like to have public speaking opportunity.
Is it open?
I just opened the
Floor
floor,
is
sir.
open.
Yes, sir.
David King. That stuff you just talked about,
Yes, sir.
buying all this stuff, I didn't hear that first vote. Anything from anybody here over that? You over all of it? I heard you talk about all of it, saying you're gonna buy a bunch of stuff, but I didn't hear nobody vote on nothing. Now that kinda makes me wonder here. I thought Stacy was over a bunch of stuff, Peggy's over, but I guess evidently.
Can I answer that for you?
Yeah.
My mother's real ill right now and I
That
don't
ain't got
have
nothing to do with the
time.
board meeting.
I don't have time for this village right now because
Well, then
my
what are you
mother's
doing here?
more important.
I don't, you know, we're at a board meeting now, your
Whatever,
mom's
Dave.
something else, that's different.
So,
Yeah.
I'll interrupt you too. What I've talked about was discussed last fall, and I'm following through on what we're finding and what we're pricing to what we get. We've already approved to make these purchases.
Well, you said you was gonna get it.
They've already
I
been
have-
approved.
What
Yeah,
year was
it has
that?
been
What day
approved.
was that?
You're welcome to ask for the minutes, and that was discussed last fall when we approved the Illinois ARPA. I think, off the top of my head, I think we approved $14,000 for that spending. I'm not certain.
Okay, but when you said you was gonna buy a bunch of stuff, I'd like to hear somebody where they agree with it or
They've
not.
already agreed with it, but I'm giving them prices yet.
Okay. Yeah, I got a void here that I'd seen. Somebody asked for the minutes on, let's see here, the minutes on what? I wanna ask Bill here.
Anderson.
Bill, what was these minutes, tell me what they was about.
I asked for the minutes for the, for not collecting his fees, his past due fees. This don't count me talking, I hope.
That's this camper sitting over here, this fifth wheel.
Yeah.
Now you and said here a while the other day or last meeting you just took care of that. Okay, where was the minutes at in the meeting for that? You know, now we ain't got the $25 fee. Is this the new rules on the window for the water? If it is, where's the $25 hookup fee in that? You get rid of that?
Sir, I posted the water and sewer increase. I did not change ordinance. I
Okay,
posted
the $25 hookup fee and you didn't change.
No,
Well, in here it says it ain't in there, and then, right here, Claudia said it wasn't in there.
a reconnect fee?
Yeah,
We did not charge reconnect fee, and we've explained this to you previous, that until it was brought to our attention that anytime water is shut off, we are to charge a reconnect fee. We don't shut off someone because they're fixing their water. We don't charge them a reconnect fee. And that was brought to our attention, and so we will try our best to abide by that.
okay, well, where was the meeting at said for this?
That was discussed in a meeting when that was brought to my attention.
In other words, we still got the hookup fee and that, because Claudia says we don't have it. Either we do or we don't.
Let me see the letter.
It's highlighted.
There are no minutes in which the board voted not to collect past due fees. That's not the part.
Read that whole thing right there, you wrote that.
There are no minutes in which the board voted not to collect past due fees. The board has never voted to not collect past due fees.
Read this.
There's no disconnect fee in the ordinance. When you shut it off, that doesn't cost you anything.
Here's the ordinance.
When
I
you
got the ordinance.
There's
reconnect,
a
it costs you.
reconnect fee.
Reconnect, but not disconnect.
Gentlemen, I'd appreciate if you would go ahead and take your seats, though. It's just
You're wrong,
2 minutes.
Claudia.
That, it is correct.
No, unless you just change the ordinance.
Because if you change that, the way I look at it,
There's not a disconnect fee, there is a reconnect fee, and
okay,
that's what she
well, he shut it
explained.
off when he
Totally
left,
different,
come back in.
disconnect and reconnect.
Okay, what else can I help you with this evening?
That camper over there, she ain't got no say in it, even if you voted on it
I
already.
don't know who she is.
Peggy Wally. She said you own the property where the fifth wheel sits, can't be hooked up to sewer or water,
It is hooked up to sewer and water,
then why is it?
because it came in way before me. It is hooked up to sewer and water, and I'm not gonna request that it be
But right
taken
here,
out.
Peggy Wally signed this book, I am the mayor, Bellmont, okay? How come it's hooked up? In the ordinance it says you can't do that.
Peggy
Yeah,
is not the
sign that.
mayor of Bellmont.
What book
so
you got?
Hey,
An old book.
That's not an old book,
She's
that's
not,
a new ordinance.
she's not the mayor of Bellmont.
I
it
wasn't
says
the
in
mayor
here,
when he moved
she
in
signed it
here.
when she's mayor, but now she's on the board. But that
Why don't
still
you show us?
brings
Show
her
us
up.
what you're talking about. I see a blank page in there. What do you
Sir,
got?
I don't think you're making much sense. I'm not understanding you.
Okay, she's on the board. If
Yes,
she
I
votes
know.
on anything that's got to do with that, or change anything, that's conflict of interest. Because she owns the
And I
property,
think that your
it's hooked up.
foyer explained to you that we have not voted on anything on that camper. I think that's what you're, and was it even your foyer? Is that what you're telling me?
What I'm saying is, where's the money that he owes from the time it is now?
And I explained to you several months ago that his bill had been taken care of. He has never been delinquent on a bill.
That's not the bill, it's the
Well, that's what he just asked.
request shut off.
Let's
Shut
move
offs,
on.
the shut offs and stuff.
Let's move on.
He owes money.
No, we don't
No.
move on.
I've answered your questions.
No, you have not.
You might not be satisfied with them, but I have.
Why is it
That's
still
not good
hooked up?
enough. You're
Why,
not
I wanna know.
you're not a
Is
tyrant.
she still collecting money off of it?
I
She
think
doing
you're saying
favors
that
for him?
because someone else
You get to
said
stay
that.
up here if we
No,
stay
you're not a
down in
tyrant.
our place.
I'm not a I'm wonderful, I'm so pleased. Okay.
Well, move on. Just don't take care of the problem. Right here she is, tell her to move her camper. But I hear her last time meeting,
Thank
don't we
you.
owe him some money
Thank
back?
you, Mrs.
She ain't got a
Payne.
say in it.
Okay, at this time, would anyone else like to speak?
Yeah. You just sat right here and told me. You told us all on recording.
And sir, what's your name, please?
Bill Evans. That's pretty silly.
Well,
That's pretty
that's
silly.
part of the process. It has to be on the
Okay,
recording.
we're gonna do it all. Let's make it all a part of the process. Let's make it all part of the
Well,
process.
don't be silly.
You can't pick
And
and
step
choose.
back away from the
No,
table,
I'm not.
please.
No,
I
I'm
don't want
not.
you on me.
I'm not threatening
You're
nobody.
intimidating.
I'm not.
Move back, please.
Video this, I'm not threatening
It's on.
nobody.
Okay, go ahead.
You sit right there and said there's
If
no
you're using
request
those
fee,
correctly.
$25.
There's no request fee?
You just sat right there
You
and said,
said request fee. What,
that's what you just said to me, you don't have it.
a request?
A request fee,
Yeah,
What's the
A shut
request
off.
fee?
a
There's a request.
disconnect. There's no disconnect fee. There is a reconnect fee.
you're absolutely positively, what would you want to waive?
That is what she just read.
What's that say? Ordinance 38.3 with crest fee shut
She
off,
just read
$25.
for a reconnect fee.
Shut off.
There is no
Did-
fee for a shut off. There is a
Request
fee
shut
for
off. You can't
request.
change, we're not changing the ball
If
game.
you're requesting a shut off, there is not a fee to turn
Why,
your water
There's
off.
what?
would you charge someone to shut their
Mr.
water
Evans,
off?
You can't change the ordinance,
You went
right here,
through this
here's
on the
the
day
ordinance.
that you raised, that you
Butch,
threw that money
you're
at
a
me.
decent man.
I am.
Read that, what's that say? Would you read that out loud?
No, I ain't.
Maybe you need to
Because I know
find,
what-
maybe you need to find the ordinance in the book.
The ordinance is in the book. You got to charge them $25
For
upon
a
request.
reconnect fee.
No,
Yes.
shut off.
No, sir.
What's that? Read that.
I'm not gonna charge you, if you call in here and tell me that you got a water leak,
I'm not gonna charge you $25 just to shut your water off and then charge you another $25 to turn it back on. That doesn't make sense.
So
Now
that's
You did over here.
silly.
That just raise everybody's water
Now
bill,
let's,
not collect.
talking silly.
You're throwing away $25.
Okay, Mr. Edlin, I think I've answered that question. Do you have
Well,
another?
you've interrupted me several
Do
times,
you
so
have
I'm gonna
another
start
question?
over again.
No, do you have another question?
Yeah, I do. What happened at the water tower the other day?
At the water tower today?
The other day? I don't have a specific
Just
thing going
went
up there.
through
I think
it
I
with you.
explained the conditions of the water tower.
Oh, you had a whole
At the
bunch of
beginning
people
of the
up at the water tower. Is it a secret?
A secret?
That's what I asked.
No, sir. Did you volunteer to come down and help at the water tower or something? I don't remember seeing you there.
Oh, we supposed to have volunteers?
Supposed to have
We do
on
have- The
there.
town does have volunteers that help
Oh,
out,
okay.
but I'm not sure what you're requesting.
Nobody licensed,
What was
though.
going on? What happened to the water tower? Was it broke down? What happened?
Did you not just hear her when she opened up?
You
He's
can't
asking
hear.
again.
You
She
can't hear.
gave her mayor's opening, the remarks by the mayor described everything that went on
You
at the
could,
tower.
you can't hear.
The chlorine pump was slowing
Does that make you
down.
guys mad to tell me what?
No.
I live
No.
in
I
town.
already
If
told
you
you.
listen,
I already told you.
Okay.
But she's addressed it, yeah.
Okay, the chlorine pump, what was the problem?
Yes, the chlorine pump
Okay.
was going out and we were monitoring it closely.
Okay.
We never had an interruption of our readings.
Does that make you mad to tell me?
Well, no, but it
Does that make you
doesn't,
mad to collect my
it
tax
doesn't
dollars?
make me mad at all. But it
Okay.
is,
All right.
an interruption for you to have
All right,
me
I'm gonna
repeat
ask you
myself.
something. Okay, what about the city worker? Do we have, I see they gonna post one, we gonna hire one, or what we gonna
Yeah, we need to hire a city worker
do?
and
Do
a
we have
treasurer.
one now?
Yes, we do.
Okay, what do we need another one for?
Because we need someone that can work more hours. Our city worker that we currently have cut back her hours.
Okay, you're,
And the other one got a full-time job, and last year the other one quit.
so,
This has all been on record also.
I didn't say it wasn't on record.
Well, and, you know, when city workers get harassed by the,
Are you implementing something?
no, I'm stating,
Okay.
when city workers get
You got all
harassed,
this, right?
that it's difficult to keep them on the job.
I work all the time, I'm not in town.
Yeah, I work all the time too.
I'm in-
And
I
I
work-
still
I work-
find time to help out as much as I can.
Well, you chose that. Okay, I'd like to know, the inventory on the 2 chainsaws. Do we still have the chainsaws that the old mayor bought, unauthorized?
We have chainsaws.
Do we have the ones that he bought unauthorized?
sure do.
Unauthorized. He never bought a chainsaw unauthorized, and that was also addressed many, many
Do we have
Years ago.
them?
months ago.
Do we
Yes.
have them?
Yes.
Do we have them?
How many times do you want me to tell you yes? I've said it
Can we
several
go
times.
look at them?
We're having a meeting
Bill,
right
you're
now,
just wanting to
sir.
stir her
Huh?
up. You're just wanting,
Well, and
Butch?
I guess
What-
I'm
what-
not
what was that
gonna-
again, Butch?
I'll
I said
back
he's just
up a
wanting to
little
stir her up. He's just wanting, I mean,
No.
My apologies.
we've been through this.
bit. I don't
She
need
come
to
across-
100 times. Every meeting we go through this.
That's right. We can do that.
His 5 minutes, he sat there and asked you a question, you said, we already read it.
Thank you,
Okay,
Mr.
he's asking
Allen.
these 5 minutes if he could talk. And would you tell him?
I didn't hear
Well,
you
we
last
already
time.
discussed that, didn't you hear us? That really was nice.
The floor is closed
I wanna know
now.
what to
Thank you.
do with that guy's camper
It's
across the
illegal
street
to
from me.
intimidate.
Well, they still got water and sewer hooked up there, what she said. But how'd they vote on it? Hank can't vote on it, it's conflict of interest.
I've never voted on it. I don't think anybody else.
How'd it
has.
stay then? How's it getting to
The floor is
stay?
closed.
Who decided that?
Let's move on.
Yeah, kick it down the road.
I'm gonna ask you if you've had a chance to review the minutes, and do I have a motion to approve January's meeting minutes?
How many times he kept saying, move
I'll make a
on?
motion to approve the minutes the whole time.
I'll second that one.
All in favor? Linda, yes.
Stacy, yes.
Peggy, yes.
Yes.
That's fine. And Claudia, did you wanna read it back, or?
It's on the ordinance. We don't wanna go by this one.
Motion was
I know
made
what-
by Leon
We're
to
gonna pick and choose.
approve
Pick and
the
choose, we'll
minutes,
pick this one
in
this week
January.
and that one next week.
And Peggy seconded the motion, and we took a roll call vote, and everybody voted yes, so the meeting minutes have been approved.
Has everyone had a chance to review the bills and financials?
Yes.
May I have a motion to approve the bills and financials?
I'll make a motion.
I'll
You
second.
mean you looked through all them bills and okayed them? That was a lot for just 5 minutes.
sorry, who was the second?
I was,
Linda.
and then we'll all have a in favor or a
Leon.
spoken vote is what I'm trying to say.
I bet they can't tell me what the highest thing is.
Stacy, yay.
Maybe yes.
Linda, did you say yes?
Yes, I did. I motioned and I'll say yes again.
Okay, the motion was made, the mayor asked for a motion to approve the bills and financials. And, Stacy made the motion, and
No,
Linda
Mary.
seconded it, and, the roll call vote was taken, and Leon voted yes, Stacy voted yes, Peggy voted yes, and Linda voted yes, so the bills and financials are approved.
Next, I have the water report chlorine readings. Today, particular, the tower read 2.2, City Hall read 1.8. Level was 119. I show that the chlorine mixture is pretty much on a routine schedule of about every 3 to 4 days. Lift station is maintaining well, basket being empty as scheduled. Do I have any reports by trustees? I think it's warm in here. Is anyone uncomfortable?
Warm you mean?
Okay.
Have it cranked. Okay, do we have any correspondence received?
There was nothing from the trustees. Do you want to do this resolution now, or the, what's that, this correspondence? You
That's
wanna do
part of
that?
the correspondence. It's the resolution, you all got a copy of what we had looked at last year for roads, and we approved it last week, and then I had the actual resolution presented here this evening that will be signed by the clerk and sent back in. Would you guys like to take a look at it?
It's a resolution for maintenance under the Illinois Highway Code, and it's for $16,000, which covers chip and seal for the roadways within the village. We talked about that last board meeting, and the list of the various streets to be redone were also discussed last fall, and so at the last meeting, they were reiterated, and so the resolution will be signed today if there's no objections.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
So can you call and get them to get us in probably 1st of May or something?
That's what I'm hoping. I've been on her, and we were pleased to get the resolution done 1st of February. So she knows we got missed last year. On the Illinois ARPA for round 2, we're ready to consider a resolution, ordinance to spend additional money of the Illinois ARPA money. Now that we have that grant for the roof locked in, and we know we're going forward on that, I think we should consider the interior work that we were not able to get part of that grant. It'd just be mostly materials. We had talked about the doors. Any thoughts on that?
There'll be money left from the roof to do the inside.
Well, no, I'm talking about using the Illinois ARPA money.
Yeah, okay.
The USDA grant, our portion, was it 4,700 guys? About that, and theirs was, yeah. And more than likely how that will be handled is that will be paid out straight from our account, and then the reimbursement will come from the USDA.
How much you going over the grant?
So,
Overspending it.
then, and because, we could not afford all the extra work that was gonna be needed done at that time with that USDA grant, I think that's something we can consider using that Illinois money for. And also, I mentioned, the valves. If you have in front of you the key for construction, sewer lagoon and valve replacement. I'll go ahead and read this. The item will include the removal and replacement of the existing non-operable shear gate valves that control the flow of the sewer fluid to the lagoon beds and reconnecting the operating shaft so that the valves can be operated as intended. To accomplish this, we will have to plug the lines coming into the manholes with air plugs placed inside the pipes, then pump out and clean the manholes with our vac sewer jet truck. On the lines that are plugged and the manholes are clean, we will remove the existing valves and install the new valves and reconnect the operating shafts to the new valves. That estimate is $17,424. I do think that we need to consider the Illinois ARPA, but I'm also going to search out for grants for water sewer specifically, because I just received an email end of last week saying that that's a possibility. So I'll email them and see what we can do to apply for that. Because if we can go that way, then we can use this Illinois ARPA money for some other needed things that we need, like the interior. And I'd really like the village to be able to get a decent truck. That stick out there is pretty rough to drive, and it would be handier, especially when you're having to go around town and pick up your brush, these trees that are falling down from storms and so forth. But I'm going to try to talk to Mount Carmel and see how to go into the government surplus, you know, how they,
Illinois.
Yeah, Illinois, and see if we can find something that way. And I'm still looking to see if we can't get that mosquito sprayer that we talked about last fall. It has not come up for an option to me to buy yet, but that is still on that list that we discussed last fall. The air conditioners that we approved last year are still on that list. Part of getting those is knowing what size we need and having someone to install them.
So they were on the round one, but they just
They were on
haven't
the
been
round
purchased
one.
yet.
Yes. And as far as park supplies too, all that had been approved too. But part of that is just having someone to help them install it without having to hire it out. So, did anyone get a chance to look at the IML book about if you are spending less than $20,000 and the board votes to bypass estimates, you can do that, but it has to be a quorum, 3 or more to say that we will bypass that. I'm not asking you to do that this evening, but I do want you to review the IML book on that, and so that is something we can consider. The 2018 is the latest edition that we have. And because honestly, trying to get bids for the village of Bellmont, it's pretty tough. Look how long it's taken us to get a decent bid to hold tight for the roof. So that's what the Illinois ARPA for round 2 is. Is there any other suggestions that people think that we need to look at for that?
No, I'm concentrating on the sewer ponds.
We did have,
Definitely need those locking caps, and all the things that we need.
yeah, and see that all that was approved on
Right.
the first ordinance, and we'll be getting those purchased, and so now I just want to consider round 2, what to use these funds for.
I went with summit with the employee down to the water tower and called in to talk to the guy that reset the computer system, and he was telling me that that's all very, very old and that really should be replaced, and I don't know if there's an estimate for doing that.
Okay.
We had a shot in the air when he was down there that time. It's very expensive.
Yes.
We'll have to have help to do it.
And again, that's one of the grant that's possibly coming down the pipe that we might be able to apply for. And we're still trying to consider that emergency water. We talked about that last fall, trying to hook it to emergency water, and Kingsburg has their own, so we wouldn't be going in with them. So, I mean, there's quite a bit needed as far as water and sewer, and that's why, perhaps getting these, and Sanders had told me this lagoon, these valves need to be replaced. And that's why I'd like you all to consider that, and, we can bring it into the next meeting and prepare ordinance, if that's the way we go.
We must protect the water and sewage in this town.
Yes.
Regardless of what else we do. I mean, street lights, or whatever we got to protect the water and sewage.
I agree with those.
Yeah. Okay. And, I also need to, send out a letter, and I'll probably get it in the next billing cycle of the water bills, to remind people not to flush, unwanted items down the sewer. We're still finding diapers and such, and,
Blue towels and.
yeah. And you can say it till you're blue in the
Baggies.
face, and people don't understand the importance of it. Same thing with, water bills are due on the 10th, and they're not getting paid till the 25th. I don't quite understand why people take that liberty, and they will often pay that small 10% fee, but it leaves us of a window. I looked at it last month, and it was, $3,000 that people just have not paid yet. They're gonna wait till the 25th to pay it, which just backs us up. It does get there eventually, but I don't know how to stress that any other way.
Are the water bills being prepared and then held and to be mailed on the first?
No, no. When the water bills are produced, they are enveloped and mailed, and usually before the 1st, but they're always in the box before the 1st, but it's more like the 26th, 27th. So,
I just wondered, because years ago, I'm talking like back in the 80s, I did the water bills, and they always did the readings, I think, on the 19th, like they still do.
yeah.
And I would get those all written out by hand. I haven't done it in a day or two, but I couldn't mail until the 1st. It was just how I was told to do it.
Yeah,
They
no,
couldn't be mailed till the 1st, and so I didn't know if the bills could go out any sooner, might give people a little more time to realize. And another thing, someone brought this up, I don't know, a while back, and I didn't mention it, but like a lot of people don't write checks anymore. And myself, the only check I write every month is to the Bellmont Water Works. I pay everything online, but I don't do this because I'm afraid it won't come back in time by the time I get my bill. Because
Yeah, and we don't do debit card either, so people, but a lot of folks, probably because of the poverty of the town, they pay with money orders or with cash.
Money order.
Yeah. And, all that is scanned in. The bookkeeper, she picks that up, and she scans every bill, anything that comes in that envelope, she scans in.
Is it the way they get paid?
Perhaps. I know we have a couple of clients that's what it is. The cycle falls at,
I don't get paid till
right. That's a little bit of it too.
well, you have to consider, I mean, we live in a poverty community. People live from paycheck to paycheck, and pension to pension, Social Security. I mean, that's just the way it is. We have to take that into consideration. And if they're not gonna be shut off till the 25th, then they've got till the 25th to pay it. And the way I look at it,
and there's not a late fee.
yes, it says it's due, but.
There's not a late fee.
There is a late fee.
There is a late fee.
Yeah, there
it's
is a
just
late fee
2%
after
late fee,
the
and they
10th.
pay it. I mean, it's a minimum amount, and
But
they
they
pay it.
still have
Yeah.
But it
that
just
grace
backs up the
period
paperwork,
before
like,
they're shut off. I mean,
um,
you can't hold anybody,
Right.
you know, they have.
I receive a statement on the 13th saying, these are the bills paid up, because on the 11th is when they get charged the late fee. And there'll be 25, 30 accounts that have not paid. Are you gonna do 25, 30 hearings? They're gonna pay it,
Yeah.
but they just pay on the 25th. Because they know they won't be shut off till after the 25th, the 25th. So,
It's a money-making deal for the town.
and, let's see.
It was her hearing that.
Hmm?
She just said had hearings.
On the Illinois ARPA, because we do have it on the agenda for round 2 this evening, do we want to put that to a vote to, go ahead and agree to the Kiefer Brothers construction and get those valves replaced? Is that how we want to write up the second ordinance on the Illinois ARPA? Do we want to try to find more information?
And in this second round, also, the air conditioners aren't in the second round.
No, they're on the
No, they're in the
first.
first
They've
round.
already been
Okay.
approved, they're on the first.
And,
In the
but
second
we're
round,
talking mosquito sprayer, a truck, and these valves.
the mosquito sprayer was in the first round. And she's just talking the truck and then the valves.
Okay, mosquito
Yeah.
sprayer and
And
the truck
the-
are two separate.
So,
Yeah,
The only thing is with mosquito sprayer, it's fine, and buying it's not, it's one thing, but you gotta have somebody to operate it.
right, and you have to have someone trained to operate it.
Have to have a
Yes, they have
license.
to be licensed.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
correct.
Isn't the,
And these funds would pay for that training for the personnel to go do that,
Yeah.
so.
don't you have a limit on the funds that come, that you're allowed to get for the ARP, Illinois ARP?
We have received all that we're going to get, it is in the Illinois ARPA account. We have not spent very much out of it yet, but yeah. We were entitled to a total of $36,000, and that's what was deposited.
Okay, so if we had used all of the first round on various things that we had submitted, then the Kiefer Brothers thing would almost take up round two.
Just about,
Okay.
yes,
Okay.
And that's why I'm bringing it to the attention of the board this evening. And that's why I'm asking too, should we hold off another month and try to see what we can find for, grants? Because I just received
I don't think you need
notification.
to hold off on anything on this sewer. I'm sorry,
No.
you guys don't know how desperately needed it is.
Yeah, and this was discussed last fall, and.
I mean, it's been discussed for 4 years. Whenever
And then-
Donald was here, he told you it needed to be fixed.
Yeah. The funds are there,
Fix it.
I'd like to see him get fixed. Period.
The sooner the better, in my opinion.
Is that a motion?
Okay,
We're
so
having a
do-
discussion.
yeah, we're having a discussion, and so, do I hear that we want to, bypass the other, getting 3 estimates? Is that what I'm hearing, or not? Would you like me to try to search out more? I have not been able to find anyone else that's willing to come out
Have
and
you
work on
talked
the
to
bids.
the Stafford people who said they can supply everything we need? at
That's the only
store?
person I haven't called, right, on Stafford, so I can reach out to them, Stafford. Because they originally did the whole system, right? Years ago.
No, they didn't do the whole system.
No, Kiefer actually did the whole system way back.
Right.
Kiefer did the sand part.
But they don't come in and do everything now.
And so they would just give us a price on replacing, just exactly what I read here that Kiefer gave
Exactly,
us.
yes.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know if you have to get more estimates or not, I don't know.
I did read that if it's under 20,000 and your board votes that
That's
to
fine.
bypass it, that you can. But if there's a possibility that, Stafford would give us a better price than this, then I definitely want to reach out that way.
I-
So how about I
just
do
to
that?
me, I think this is a good price. I really, when we started talking about it, I thought it was gonna be much higher. I'm really pleased to get this price.
Yeah,
And I think that with the time it would take to get more bids and have another meeting next month, you know, I think this time it's just costing us more money and we're just waiting on something bad to happen. It very well happen any time. And so I would like to say, I would be ready to go ahead and say, let's do this now.
okay. So I have a motion to, first to write the, second Illinois ARPA
Well, in all
ordinance
honesty,
to replace the
Needed.
the
It's gonna be an
valves.
emergency.
the sewer lagoon valve replacement for the bid given by Kiefer Brother Construction for $17,424. Do I have a first on that?
What was that?
I'll make the motion.
Okay. First, let me understand that
Because we've already discussed it prior to the, so it's included, what I'm looking at is the agenda as far as making motion, voting. So this is included in the Illinois ARPA round 2. So it is on the agenda. And because we've already presented that and accepted it and all that, is my understanding. I just wanted to clarify that.
Okay, yes. And so it's a matter of signing the ordinance and filing it for the sewer lagoon valve placement.
Do you have any questions?
I just wanted to
why I was waiting on you to ask.
Okay,
So you have a motion?
I have a first from Peggy, I have a second from Leon. A verbal vote, I say yes.
Yes.
So I will contact Keeper Construction and see where we can get on the schedule. Claudia, I would like you to to write up that resolution so we can get it, it's not a resolution, I'm sorry, ordinance. And I
Okay.
believe it will fall under, 23.
ILARPA for round
Uh-huh.
two.
Yeah, 2301.
23
It'll
what?
be 2023-01.
2023
That'll be the ordinance
Yes.
number.
Yes.
That's good, because like Peggy said, we'll end up having a catastrophe out there and we're going dig deep.
And it's gonna cost a lot more money.
And when it
And
when it
back to
starts
the
getting
sewer
too high,
ponds.
it gets soft and, yes.
Those need to be built up by some rocks on the back half, so,
Okay.
and the rocks out there, you just gotta get the manpower out there to put it on there.
I can approach Kiefer about that when they're coming out to do their part.
We've discussed this for
It was
months.
voted
Yeah.
on to do it way back,
Way back.
I mean, way back.
Yeah.
We voted, and what, we had the rainiest summer that this
Yeah,
area
because
had seen.
Who was it that was gonna loan the equipment, or was gonna do it for us? Was it Mary? No.
No, there was a company that was insured and everything. But what happened was it the Beavers or the Gophers? The Beavers, they
Beavers.
compromised the levee system. up
Okay,
there.
Claudia, do you have all that? Can you
All
read
that
that back to
rain
us,
got
please?
I have the motion.
settled.
So the motion was made by Peggy that, the Illinois ARPA money, be put to resolution.
For round two. we
Or
For
voted.
round two.
Ordinance.
Ordinance.
I'm sorry, for the ordinance, and, that I write out the ordinance before the next meeting to be signed, I write out the ordinance to be signed, for this money to go ahead and be submitted, and the amount is $14,424.
No,
No.
17,424.
Sorry, I wrote it twice, and I got it wrong the second time. $17,424, use Keeper Brothers to, do the work to install the gate valves at the sewer system, for the sewer ponds. And the second was made by Stacy, it was made by Leon, and then, Linda voted yes, Stacy voted yes, so the, motion is passed.
At this time, I'd like to, a motion to go into closed session to discuss with employees and review closed session minutes. Do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion.
I'll second it.
Vote on that.
Linda, yes.
Leon is.
Yes, Stacy.
Yes.
And the time is?
6:48. 6:49, okay. Stop that. Can you unplug? Never mind, I'll just unplug this right here.
I don't know if it works very well without being plugged in.
It does. It's fine.
Me too, man, my old knee.
Wanna go in the office, or is there enough room in the?
There might be enough room right there.
with me this evening.
It says right here. It's in the ordinance. Is it right? And it says right here. There's no disconnection in the ordinance. What is it?
Which one is it?
Which one is it?
It is or ain't?
Which that? I just can't get, they just wouldn't let me talk. They never let me finish the sentence.
I know.
Did they?
No, it don't make a difference what you said to me. You asked that question, whether it's the same thing or not.
We've discussed this.
Well, yeah, we discussed it, okay, I'm asking you that question.
I'm gonna ask it next month. It don't matter. Even it's in the book, it don't matter, like they want it to matter. They better never send me a letter or sign an ordinance against me. Oh my gosh. Probably haven't finished the meeting back here. It's at 88 degrees or something on there. The deal with the water bills, so be it if they're late, as long as they're paying, they're getting their 3%.
They
That's
put money in their account. We're just really hanging on that sound.
Why? At 3%, that adds up a pretty good chunk of change.
Yeah.
What the hell? It's in there. 3% of your bill. What the hell? Let them all pay them late. You know, you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know it.
I mean, I hate that, but I mean, it's a money-making deal for the town. It's maybe not a money-making deal, but it's getting their bills paid and extra money.
Did we take out the $25 or not? That's, you know,
Yeah, no, ain't gonna do the $25.
that's what I'm saying.
You just heard her say we're not doing it, so she's not gonna look at that ordinance.
So, is it or ain't it? You couldn't get a yes or no?
She said, you didn't hear her say it? She said we're not abiding by that ordinance. Didn't you hear her say that? So we're gonna check another one. We're gonna put another one. That's what she said to me, wasn't it? We're not gonna abide by that ordinance. Just because of that. That's the only reason. I know. I mean, I agree they need these sewer pumps. That needs to be fixed. I'm glad they're doing it. They need to do it. They need to work on these water wells, deep wells. I mean, I'm not arguing it. I just want little bits and pieces, some other stuff. Old business needs to be taken care of. That's it. I mean, it is. Old business needs to be taken care of. She didn't want me standing up here, did she?
See, want you to talk.
No, she didn't really want me to talk. So if she interrupted me, I'm gonna have me time. Her and Stacy, all of them did.
We've already took care of it. Already took care of it. If you're asking a question, it's your 5 minutes.
I'll ask it again next month.
Next month. Next month.
What we gonna do with this guy? I decided we're not gonna do that. If another board wouldn't decide it, I decided. That's what she said. I thought that's what she said. We'll hire another worker. They're gonna hire another worker. Right?
Yep.
I mean, that's what they're wanting to.
All it needs one worker.
So I thought you need one good worker. But they won't get to this board here, they won't get a good worker. As long as you got her over the worker. I pay my water bill. I get my water bill, I always pay it. That I get it in the mail, I go to the next like Sunday and pay it.
What I do,
That's what I get it out, I write the check up here.
I make my bills out for the whole month, like
Yeah.
I always do.
Mine's paid before the 10th, mine's paid this. I get my water bill on the 2nd or something, you know, and then
First, second.
I pay mine like on the 3rd or 4th. That way I know the blooming thing is paid. I'll mess around and forget. I'm not gonna do that.